Hi, everybody. Sorry, I went off on. I was going off. I wanted to show you something that one of my cousins, was having a discussion with me, and so I wanted to kind of share with you just some of the things that he said, just because it kind of shows you some of the problems that you're going to come up with when you tell Muslims that there's more than one Quran, because they are so convinced there's only one Quran. And so when you tell them there's two or three or four or five or six or seven, like al Susi, al Duri, al Qalun, al Habz, al Warsh, al Jalalain, Ibn Mas'ud, and there's so many Qurans. There's 37 that we know of. I could show you a video of all 37, and there's more. There's more than that. But anyway, they're going to tell you, oh, there's something wrong with you. I just want to show you some of the things that my cousin told me, you know. And if anybody wants to come on with me, you're welcome to come on with me. Just tell me, I'll send you a guest link, and you can come on with me. I'm welcoming guests. I'm not being exclusive today, but I wanted to show you some of the things that my cousin told me. So let me just show you some of the. Let me show you some of the things that he said. Okay, let me see. Sorry, even though I'm learning this. Okay, I want to show you some of the things he said. Okay. Okay. And I asked him to come on with me right now, but he wouldn't. So maybe he told me I don't know if he's been kicked off of Facebook or something, if he's in Facebook prison or what the situation is, but he said that he couldn't come on with me. So if he wants to come on with me, he can still come on with me. I welcome him. أهلا وسهلا. إذا بتحب تيجي أخونا أنت بنرحب بيك. أهلا وسهلا. تعالوا نعمل مناظرة معاي. أهلا وسهلا بيك. لكن أنا بدي أفرجي okay. حيوت let me show you what he said here and what I said. Actually, I was watching my friend Adam Seeker, and I saw him do this, and I've never tried this before, where you actually take a conversation and put it on. So anyway, but this is what he said to me. He sent me a video. They're always sending me videos. If I watch all the videos they send me, I couldn't have time to eat or sleep or work or do anything else. I'd just be watching their videos all the time. I prefer that you just talk to me and, say what you got to say instead of sending me a video of somebody saying it. Anyway, so he said, listen to this, man. Here's how to translate the truth of the Quran, Allah's words. And then I told him, which Quran? Which Quran? And he says, the one and only one that he was reading from. I'm sorry, the Quran, only smart people read to understand. And so, so he kind of turned it into an insult against me that I'm not smart enough to know that there's only one Quran. But I went ahead and listed for him the different Qurans: Al Susi, Al Duri, Al Qalun, Al Hafz, Al Warsh. Those are the 5 biggies in the world today. But there's so many more. The Jalalain, there's the Ibn Mas'ud, there's many others, and I don't have enough time to list them all. But anyway, that's what he told me. He told me that first of all, he says that I'm not smart enough. That's why I don't understand, because I'm not smart. He says here, smart people understand. It takes smart people to understand. So the reason I don't understand is because I'm not smart enough. So yeah, that was one of the nicer things he said. But let's go ahead and look at what else he says. Let me see. When I told him, I sent to him some of the differences between different Qurans, because I can show you lots and lots of differences between the Qurans, because there's so many. Because in just the 2 big, there's over 100 there's way more than that. يعني بين الحفظ والورش في أكثر من 1300 اختلاف وفي أكثر يعني لكن بدي أفرجيكم شو بيقول هو شو قال هو بس عشان يوريكم كيف بيردوا لما بتوريهم إنه في أكثر من قرآن واحد. I'm showing you this just so that you know, so that you can see, so that you can see that this is how they respond when you show them these things. Only one Quran. So when you put two Qurans in front of them, they say no, there's only one. And this is the other. This is the other trick. This is a mushaf because you had something in your hand trying to tell you fellow sheep. Okay, again, he's insulting me that I'm a sheep, and so I told them, hey, when you resort to insults, it means that I won the argument. Yeah, but anyway, so he's saying this isn't the Quran; it's a mushaf. You know, so there's a difference now between the Quran and a mushaf, and so 150, he told me, so differences. But now there's a difference between a mushaf and a Quran. A mushaf is different from a Quran. Now, a mushaf is like this is the Bible, you know, and to say that this is a mushaf, I could say this is like the book, you know, and instead of saying that, you know, the Quran, you know, so he just changes the meaning. He just changes the words. It's not a Quran. It's a so there is 70,000 different ones because what I'm asking him, there's a very important verse in the Quran, and Brother Adam, welcome, Brother Adam. What I'm asking him is, I'm going to go ahead and put this up here because my brother Adam is showing it to me, and this could be useful for you. Let me just go ahead and put this on the screen here for you. Adam, if you would like to come on, I can go ahead and bring you on if you'd like to talk with me too. I don't know. I know you were just on your live stream, so I don't want to overwork you. I know that you just got done doing your own live stream over there. If you want to, what I'll do, Adam, is I'll go ahead and send you the invitation. And if you want to come, ahla sahla. If you don't, that's okay. I know that you're busy. Okay. But let me show you this page. Let me show you this. Let me show you this website here. I'm going to put it up here so that you can read it, so that you can go there if you want. Okay, this is the, it's a little bit hard to see that. Okay. Okay. You know what? I'm not sure that's a good idea, but yeah, that's not really a good idea. Let me actually get the website so that you can see it, because this website will show you will tell you the Quran, the different the 51 variants. Now I believe this is from let me go ahead and put this up. Let me go ahead and put this up here, and so that you can see it. Oh, we got our brother Adam on here. So let's go ahead and bring our brother Adam on. Welcome, brother Adam.
Hey, brother Steve, how are you?
Doing good. I enjoyed your live stream, and
Thank you so much. Yes, I had a huge issue with a lot of people who were not very happy when I gave them the answers in a few live sessions with you. So that's why I was like, okay, let's go live. I had to actually figure out how to
well, you
run live show because I have never done that. I just came in on your invite. So I just like this was the streaming application that I just found over the internet and I just used it.
very good. Yeah, you did a good job, man. It was good. Yeah, you got me into a lot of trouble too. Thanks.
Whoever speaks the truth gets into trouble. Remember, that's what Jesus told us.
That's right. Yeah, you fulfill those words. So, but you know what? There's actually two. There's two of my cousins that you have irritated out of their brains. And it's so interesting to me. One of them, Farid, when he the first time you came on and shared your testimony, he was furious. He said, "Get me on right now. I want to talk to this fool and everything." He was so angry, and I thought, Why is he so mad? And you know what? It's the Holy Spirit, man. The Spirit reacts to the Holy Spirit, and then you got this other cousin of mine, and there's more than these two, but these are the two main ones. Joseph, and he just when you brought up that slavery thing, that just like it burned a circuit or something. It just set him off. And to right now, he's still talking about it. He's still trying to tell me how that's wrong, and he's got proof. And in fact, I invited him, and I don't know if he's on, but if he's on, I welcome you, Joseph. If you want to come on and talk to Sam, Sam, excuse me, to Adam. If you want to come talk to Adam, you're welcome to do that. Let me see if I can bring Joseph.
Yeah, the problem with your streaming application is that you cannot show your screen, because if you can show your screen like I showed while I was talking, it is like very interactive. Can you in your streaming app show your screen? Is it possible somehow?
Show my screen. What do you mean by that? I don't
You
understand.
remember when I was talking in my live stream right now, I was showing my screen. I was showing a Word document which was live. I was scrolling the document. Then I was showing my web page, and I was scrolling through my web page. It was not pictures. It was
Oh,
scrolls of everything. So I was showing part of my screen where I had the website or all the stuff. I can actually go to sunnah.com and quran.com over there as well, so I can be like, there is no delay, so there's no taking a picture and then showing it. So right there and then, can you actually do that with your
I.
app? Just try.
You know what? I think I can, to be honest.
So
Um, I
just try it before he comes. Just try it. We are here. We are live. A lot of people are listening and watching. We are learning these apps, so it's not a big deal.
yeah.
Try.
I think.
Try if you can share if you can share your screen for a particular web a browser. If you can share the browser, then you can open up this website that I sent you, and we can go through those 51 differences.
Okay. Application window. You know what? I think there is a way to do this. I think I'm going to have to practice it though, because well, is it okay? That didn't. You know what? I thought that maybe that might. Are you still with me?
Yes, sir. I am with you. I'm
Okay.
just here.
You know what? I think there is a way to do this, but I'm going to just have to practice it because
Okay,
I'm
we
going to
can practice offline. We can practice offline someday, because
let me see if I get my cousin Joseph, see if he wants to come on and talk to you.
okay.
If he does, I'll try to make it in a debate format. Because otherwise, no, we're not going to get one word in edgewise.
Yeah, because and I would like you to mute me when it is his time, and
Okay.
I would like you to mute him when it is my time, because he tends to speak over the other participant as we see in the past. So I want you to mute him forcefully while it is my time to speak, and then mute me when it is his time to speak. So that's how I'll do with him. Otherwise, he speaks over, he has a huge microphone phone. Oh, now you are showing your screen. Yes. So
Well, no, I just added this. I just showed this because this is a picture I took. This is a screenshot I took
oh,
of
okay.
uh, your site there. So anyway, I actually want to get rid of that now. I don't know how to do that. Oh, let me see.
Okay, now you are gone, by the way, just to let you know, we can't hear you anymore.
Okay, now I'm on the other side.
Okay,
Let me see if
fair
my
enough.
Joseph wants to come on with you. He may be busy, so but yeah, because yeah, I mean he's just been going at it, and it's that subject of slavery, and there's many other subjects. I did a debate yesterday in Arabic with another one of my cousins. All the, you know what? I had a guy write to me because
Hmm.
I've been putting these on to boost them, to boost the videos. And when you boost them, you get thousands and thousands of views instead of just the hundreds, that I get on my own page. And so I'm boosting them. And then I had one guy, he says, he says, consider me your cousin because I have to talk to you.
Man, I like you have seen my current broadcast. This was the first one ever. Like I have never done that. Like a couple of weeks ago, you are the first guy who actually invited me for a live broadcast. I was just writing text and I was just throwing it on the website. I never thought that I will one day do this kind of broadcast, but you brought me in, and then I stated things, and then suddenly everyone is like this Mir guy, Sayyid Waliullah Mir.
Who
He
is?
brought in Ali Dawa to my messenger, and like he's like, hey Aki, this guy is wanted to debate you and Mimi Hijab. I was like, seriously? I never said that. I never said that. You are lying to begin with. You can ask me or ask Mimi Hijab and Ali Dawa to debate me. Yes, you can do that, but don't start with a lie. At least I
Yeah.
have no issues debating with them, like literally. Like these are chimpanzees, as you know, we all know these are chimpanzees, these are gorillas, comes in strong, banging their chest and and then when you give them the stuff, they will just try to run away in circles left and right. They will shout loud, and like and then they were like, because I shout loud, I won, see. So the whole thing is that they are good in front of crowd,
Yes.
Muslim crowd. They are good in front of Muslim crowd, because when they start shouting and they say, hey, you do not know Arabic, I'll give you a free Arabic lesson, and the crowd will start laughing and cheering and clapping, whereas they are not doing anything, they're just deceiving everyone. That's how it is. So anyhow, he brought in Ali Dawa. Then when Ali Dawa never responded a single text message for 2 days, and I said like, where is your Ali Dawa? Why is he not responding? He's busy. He's busy. He's busy. Okay, that guy is so busy, right? So then he brought in five more guys, and those five more guys at around midnight started texting me while I was about to go to sleep. And then I said, okay, Saturday was busy with me. I had to go out with my family. So I was like, I will debate with you on Sunday at 3 p.m. Right? And then he was like, you kiddo, it's your sleep time, you fool, you idiot. I showed all the text. I showed all the text in that's why I showed all the text, like how he was talking. And then they were saying idiot and all these words to me. But once again, when I am live, right now, where are
Yeah.
you? Right? So
Yeah.
where are you now? That's
Well,
how
you
it
know
is.
what? My cousin Joseph just said that he's at a barbecue. He can't do. I told him, come for a few minutes right now. Just come for a few minutes. Get this out of your system, so the rest of us can rest. And so, and you guys can have it out. It'll make for some good entertainment for Sunday afternoon. Let's see if he'll do it.
Anyhow, if he does not comes up, fair enough, we will have a discussion some other day. In the meantime, if you know how to do sharing screen, because that's so easy, because I have so many proofs and relevant hadiths on my website, that you do not actually have to
Uh
go
huh.
and screen print all of them. Like there are like 20 plus of them. So maybe I don't have an issue. Maybe one or two you would say, no, XYZ. Okay, fair enough. I will add your relevant tafsir of the hadiths as well. If you give me the relevant tafsirs of those hadiths, I will add that also. But like you are asking me, you are telling me that out of those 20, 25 one, even with the Quranic verses, you are telling me Muhammad freed slaves. Like Muhammad, like there were so many hadiths where Muhammad said, do not flee the slave.
Yes.
He sold those slaves. And this one rather use the Yalamun and Talamun. That actually destroys them. Malik and Malik may be probably pretty similar. That is in Quran. chapter 2, verse number 85, Ya'lamun and Ta'lamun. The problem with Ya'lamun and Ta'lamun is that it actually shows the hypocrisy of the Quran in such a way that when you go to the early Quranic manuscripts, there were no dots,
Yes.
right? There were no dots. Ya'lamun and Ta'lamun are written similarly. So when you add dots, you can put dots on the top or in the bottom. So the same word can actually become Ta'lamun with two dots on the top and Ya'lamun with two dots in the bottom. So that actually changes the meaning to a certain extent. Oh, and this one as well. Nughfar and Yughfar, right?
Yes.
Same word, but the dots are different.
Right.
So we give mercy, he gives mercy. So like this is crazy, right?
It's I did a whole thing on this on the because you see that's the big thing that they don't is that there were no diacritical marks in the time of Uthman when they put together that Quran of theirs. And so later on, they just had to guess. And I've got this whole list. I got this whole list of words where the consonants are the same, but the dots are different. And when you change
Exactly.
the dots, you change the meaning of the word. And so this is the Hafs and this is the Warsh. One means is naghfir, we give mercy. That's Allah speaking, we give mercy. But the other one is yaghfir, he gives mercy. And so you've changed the meaning there. Let me let, let me give you another one. I want to show you another one because some of these are some of them are just really it changes the meaning completely. It changes the meaning
The whole sentence.
of the whole of the whole verse, and what they're trying to say. And let me just okay, let me go ahead and okay, yeah, this is the one that you were talking about. Oh, wait a second. I want to actually get that one that you were talking about because
This one is the this one is similar basically, and actually you can read ma tanazzilu and ma nunazzilu. That is in Quran chapter 15 verse number 8. We do not send down the angels except with truth. And then the other one says you do not send down the angels except. So we as in Allah and you all together different. Ma uh, tanazzilu and ma nunazzilu. So this is Quran 15 chapter 15 verse number 8. So if Allah is talking, right, Allah should say we or he or I. So yeah, so we, Allah should say we because Allah usually says we.
yeah,
I don't know why, but Allah usually said we.
he's a
So
Trinity
sorry.
because he's a Trinity.
Now they are going to shout about that. You said Allah is Trinity.
Shout, 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 shout. Just gonna go
So
ahead.
now when we actually read ma tanazzilu, it will be like you do not send down the angels. So if Allah is talking, then how can it be you? Like who is Allah talking about? Like Muhammad? So that is Quran number 15:8. It is in the article that I sent you as well. It's not my article, but it is an article written by somebody who actually showed all these issues.
Yeah, here's the ya'lamun and ta'lamun.
Yeah, same word with different diacritical marks.
Yes, and that's the. Oops. Ma tinzilu, ma nanzilu. So these are just over and over again the diacritical marks, and that's one of the reasons why you got so many different Qur'ans, because the consonants are the same in a lot of them, but the diacritical marks are different, which is like the vowels and the like the dots to make it that change the letters. So Anyway, my cousin Joseph says he's at a barbecue. He even sent me a picture to prove to me that he can't come on. So anyway, well, you know, I just wanted to come on and to show. I wanted to show what my other cousin Nasser was saying. One thing that he said is that when I told him there's all these different Qur'ans, he says that's not a Qur'an, it's a mushaf. It's a mushaf. And so, can you have you heard that excuse before? Are you there? Oh, hello.
Hey, stop muting me.
I muted you. Sorry, bro. You know
No worries.
about what my cousin said when I told him.
Yeah. I heard that. I heard that, and yes, this is the first time I'm hearing somebody saying it's a mushaf. Like, what is a mushaf? Let's elaborate that first.
Okay.
Why don't you elaborate that?
Okay. I just want to say that this is I actually put up some of the parts of the conversation that I had with my cousin, and I told
Okay.
him. He told me, listen to this wonderful tape from this guy who's reading the Holy Quran. And me and him have been over this before, so he kind of knew what I was going to say. I said, which Quran? Al Susi, Al Duri, Al Habs, Al Warsh, Al Qalun, Ibn Mas'ud, Jalalain, which one? Because there's so many Quran, 37 that I could show you right now. And and he goes, "There's only one Holy Quran." Like Obama used to say, "Quran, Holy Quran." That's how Obama used to say it. But he goes, "No, no, no. These aren't Qurans. These are mushafs. These are mushafs. These aren't Qurans." And so, and so, what they've done, the way they're trying to fix. I mean, they've tried so many different ways to fix it, and it's exactly what Yasser Qadi said. It's exactly what Yasser Qadi said. There's holes in the narrative. This narrative isn't working,
But this hole actually put Yasser Qadi into the hole. He is making videos after videos about explaining the holes in the narrative. And people are shouting at him, thanks to Mimi Hijab, who in his gorilla shouting way, he actually exposed the truth about Quran and Quranic scripts. So I would actually say thank you to Mimi Hijab on that one.
Yes. Let me see if I could. Okay. Holes. Okay. I want to bring that. I want to see if I could bring part of that interview. No.
Every single student of knowledge.
You know what? Since I got you here, it'd be really good to talk about this too, because this is I don't think you and me talked about this, but this is it's one of the biggest things happening right now.
Yeah, let's play this. Let's play this first, and then we definitely can talk about it. Yep.
Okay. Let me put it up and let's just play a little bit about this. And for everybody who doesn't know who Yasser Qadi is, this is like one of the big guns of the Islamic apologetics, polemics in the United States of America. He's a graduate from Yale University. He's so well known, so popular. He's the one that all the media loves to put him on and stuff. And this is something that he said recently, and it's caused an earthquake in the world of apologetics, Islamic and Christian apologetics, because he is now saying what Christians have been saying for a long time. So let's just watch a little bit of the video, and then we'll have some comments from Adam about it.
Every knows who studies Ulum al-Quran that the most difficult topics are ahruf al-qira'at, and the concept of ahruf and the reality of ahruf and the
you know, Adam, I just wanted to stop it right there, just because my cousin Nasser, every time he comes on, this is the ahruf, it's a qira'at. And what we mean by ahruf, just for those of you who don't know, is the ahruf is that Muhammad said that the Quran came down in 7 modes. Those are the ahruf, the modes. And the thing is that, and what they'll try to explain it as is dialects, different dialects. And so that there were 7 different Qur'ans at the very beginning when Muhammad was telling different people about the Quran and telling them to memorize it. There was already 7 different Qur'ans at the beginning of the whole, before Muhammad died. There were these 7 different Qur'an, 7 modes, sab'a ahruf. And they think it's such an easy answer. It's such an easy answer. But listen, this guy is the top guy. This is the #1 guy. And he's saying this is the biggest problem in Islam today is the ahruf and the qira'at. Qira'at being the recitations. So would you like to say something about just what he just said, Adam?
So I would like to actually say 2 things. Number 1, if we look at the original Qurans, the oldest Quran, not original, we don't even have a single original Quran. We don't. The earliest Quranic manuscripts, based on those manuscripts, and you actually do not have the whole Quranic manuscripts. You have portions, like you have a few 16 pages here, and then you have someone else with 8 pages or 7 pages or 6 pages, stuff like that. So anyhow, if you look at the earliest Quranic scripts, you cannot actually make the difference of ahruf and kiraz from there. If you can, bring me one guy who can. Number 1. Number 2, this whole narratives of ahruf and qira comes from Sahih al-Bukhari. Sahih al-Bukhari, it is narrated in Sahih al-Bukhari. Basically, all of these hadiths are narrated through Sahih al-Bukhari. So if we look at Sahih al-Bukhari and Bukhari, he is writing 250 years after Muhammad's death, where Arabic now at that particular time had some diacritical markings. At that time, he can say Qurayshi dialect, right? So if we go back to the original Quran, and if we look at the original Quran, and if we look at the hadiths where it actually comes to from Muhammad, and if we look into those verses, what the writings are, you can clearly say that Muhammad never memorized what he stated on one day. So he would state that this is the revelation of Allah one day. After a couple of days later, he would say them differently because he couldn't even remember what he stated earlier. And then Muslims had problems based on those hadiths, right? And then Muslims would actually say, no, those are abrogated verses. And that's what happened in Quran as well. Quran said, and we have abrogated certain verses and brought you similar or better.
Or better.
Like, why would you bring me similar? Why would you bring me similar? You would bring me similar because
The beginning.
exactly because you never knew what you said yesterday or month before. You forgot what you said a month before. So you are saying something similar, but another guy would say, oh, Muhammad, you actually stated something like this that time. Now you are saying this. Oh, and then Muhammad said, oh, it is in 7 aharuf and kiraz. Not aharuf, basically. Aharuf comes from harf. Harf is a word, right?
Yeah.
It's a proper word. So when the words are changing, then it comes aharuf, not kiraz. Kiraz is all about adding kiraz because Bukhari knew that there are different kind of kiraz right now because of diacritical markings. But aharuf are the harfs. The basic word is harf. Harf can be
Letter.
translated as a word, right? A complete word. So,
Yeah.
sorry, please, you were about to say something.
It's just that I just want to say that one thing about the forgetting is that in the verse of the Quran, and any Muslim can go see it, it's chapter 2, verse 106. Chapter 2, Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 106. It says that Allah does not abrogate, but there's another thing it says, or cause to be forgotten. You know, it means Allah doesn't abrogate, or delete or cause to be forgotten a verse unless he brings something better or like it. And so Allah might make a verse be forgotten because that's what was happening to Muhammad. He was forgetting a lot of the verses. And so, I just wanted to say that chapter 2, verse 106, for anybody who doesn't believe. In Arabic, it's nasikh wa mansukh. Those are the word for abrogation, which is ما ينسخ
So
آية.
yeah, nasikhu and mansukh. Please explain these two words. These are very important. The translation of these two words are very important. So
You,
mansukh, please,
mhm.
please translate. You are good in Arabic.
You know what you know what, just because we got this video, it's going to take us a while to get through it. I'm wondering if we can go ahead and put that off to another time, because it's a whole huge area that I really do want to talk about, is the abrogated and abrogator, which is nasikh and mansukh. And so but I'd like to get back to the video, just because it's going to be very long if
Just
if we
do a 2 minute one, because that sentence will actually be destructive very easily. Because if he, like, not if, as he is saying, him being the PhD professor who's teaching Muslim Ummah, and he's saying that there are certain red lines that we do not cross, but these Western scholars are crossing those red lines. What do you mean by red line? Like, are you kidding me? You have red lines not to cross just because of learning Quran? Like, and isn't that Quran which says do not ask questions? What is that verse? I forgot that verse number. I will
I,
search. Which one?
I I just showed it to my friend, to my cousin. He says, "Where does Quran says not to ask questions?" It's 101. يا أيها الذي آمنوا لا تسألوا عن أشياء إن تبدأ لكم تسؤكم. Yeah, and don't ask about things. It's in Surah till where's the Surah? Oh, it's verse 101. I can't
Okay,
see the
no worries.
Surah
We
though.
can search on it later. But yes, so basically, the red lines, he's talking about the red lines. So when you have red lines and you shouldn't be asking further question, what kind of a religion it is
Yeah,
which says do not ask question? Questions
yeah.
gives you the understanding.
Let me Adam, let me go ahead and play
That
part
is
of the
that is
video, and then let's
5101.
come back.
That is
the
5101, by the
relationship
way.
of
Okay.
Uthmanic Mus'haf with the Ahruf and the
Okay.
preservation of the Ahruf. Is it 1, is it 3, is it 7?
preservation
And
of
the
the Ahruf. Is it 1, is it 3, is it 7? And the
Remove yourself.
relationship
This
of
is
the
a topic
qira'at.
that when you're the
Okay,
beginning,
I'm trying.
student of
That
knowledge, you're like,
when
what
you're
is
the
all of this going on
beginning
here?
student of
When you go
knowledge,
a
you're like,
little bit
what
more,
is all of this going
you
on here?
learn to simply memorize what your teachers say and regurgitate it out, and you don't fully comprehend.
There's something that he said right there, and I was thinking when he said that, I thought, what an insult! What an insult that was. He says that when you first learn these things, you just learn to memorize and regurgitate. He's saying it's like you don't really learn it; you just memorize and regurgitate. I mean, you just say whatever somebody told you, rather than actually understanding it. Oops, sorry. Sorry about that. I accidentally
No worries,
muted
no
you
worries.
there.
So yes, I
Hello?
this is how it is. Like, the further you go into this debate, so this is actually a 20 minutes long conversation which has been removed by Mimi Hijab and all those, but thankfully Jay Smith, David Wood, and so many other people in the apologetics actually downloaded it, and they are keep on showing that and putting it on the internet and tagging these people. Like, come on, this is the crux of it. If you look at it, like, the Muslim scholars do not want to talk about it, because if they talk about it, there is a problem, and the huge problem is that they actually do not know how to defend it, and they cannot defend it. Yes, this video here, in this video, he actually said that I have issues. When I first read it, when I first understood it, when I first read it, I had issues. Like, okay, play this one, good video.
Everyone knows who studies Ulum al-Quran that the most difficult topics are Ahruf and Qira'at, and the concept of Ahruf and the reality of Ahruf, and the relationship of the Uthmanic Mus'haf with the Ahruf, and the preservation of the Ahruf. Is it 1, is it 3, is it 7? And the relationship of the Qira'at to the Ahruf. This is a topic that when you're the beginning student of knowledge, you're like, what is all of this going on here? When you go a little bit more, you learn to simply memorize what your teachers say and regurgitate it out, and you don't fully comprehend. When you do a deep dive is when things get very, very awkward and difficult. And this isn't new. This is from the time of the Sahaba. This is not a joke, brothers and sisters. The issue of ahruf and qira'at caused confusion to somebody whom the Prophet ﷺ said, if you want to listen to the Quran directly, listen to Ubay. Ubay is not some even average Sahabi. He is the Qari of the Quran. He is the master. He is who he is. And he goes, فَدَخَلْ فِي نَفْسِي شَكْ. What is all of this stuff? Again, this is you're asking some very honest questions. It's the first time I'm saying these things. Many people are aware who listen to my lectures that I've mentioned the crises that happened to me at Yale. This was the issue. That the issue of
Are you back with us
Yes, I'm
there?
here. Yes.
Yeah, just you know, I'd just like to play that a little bit more of that, just so that people can get an idea of, you know, I like what David said about this. David Wood, you know, this was a dumpster fire of an interview, and with the stuff that he's saying here is devastating. It's so insulting. It's so insulting to the Muslims to say, you know, you just memorize and regurgitate. That means you don't really know it. You don't really understand it. You just hear and which is exactly, you know, the way it's been, you know. And you know, would you like to say something about just that part that we just and also the fact that he brought up what happened with Ubay ibn Ka'b, you know, when I think it was Umar ibn Khattab heard him reciting the Quran in a different way, and he took him to Muhammad. No, Ubay took the guy to Muhammad, and because he heard him reciting the Quran in a different. Dude, sorry about
That
that.
is Sahih Muslim. No, that is I did it myself because I have a wind over here, and I was muting it myself because when you were talking. So anyhow, this is what you are talking about is Sahih Muslim 818a. I heard Hashim and Surah Furqan in a style different from that is which I used to recite, and that is Umar bin Khattab saying. Okay, so what he did was, and in which Allah's Messenger, may peace be upon him, had taught me to recite. I was about to dispute him, but I delayed until he had finished that. Then I caught hold of him, his cloak, and brought him to Messenger. So he basically got hold of his garments, clothes that he was wearing, and he dragged him to Muhammad. Then I and said, Messenger of Allah, I heard this man reciting Surah Al-Furqan in a style different from the one in which you taught me to recite. Upon this, the Messenger of Allah told me to leave him alone and ask him to recite. Right? The Messenger of Allah then said, thus was it sent down. He then told me to recite, and I recited. And he said, thus was it sent down. The Quran was sent down in 7 dialects. So recite what seems easy. Right? And in our part of the world, as you know, I'm not a native Arabic speaker. Um, these imams would actually punish us just because we did not recited it in the way he was pronouncing words. We would get punished just because we didn't use the khadi zabar as longer word or etc or double pesh in the way it should be pronounced. So and basically dialects, and if you read it in Arabic, it says sabatil ahruf. So we are actually talking about ahruf, which they actually write it as dialect in English translation. If you read the Arabic, it's sabatil means 7, ahruf means wording. It is words, not dialects. Dialects is reciting something different in a different way. So English dialect, American English dialect. So these are dialectual differences. When you are talking about ahruf, basically, that is where the words are different. Please tell me if I'm wrong.
No, that's what it means, you know. And ahruf can also mean letters, like, you know, the different letters like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And so there's also talking about the changing of the letters, you know, in the words as well, you know, which, you know, we could also show, you know, that has happened as well.
And yes, this is not just Sahih Muslim. Like I told you, Sahih Muslim 818. If you go and look, the same narration would be by Sunan Ibn Dawood, Sunan Ibn Nisa, Tirmidhi. So if you look at Sunan Ibn Dawood, it will be the same narration at 1475 of Sunan Ibn Dawood,
Mhm.
right? If you look further, Sunan Ibn Dawood. Let me just look further, and so you will actually find it in. Uh, Muwattal Malik actually said the same thing. So basically there are so many areas which the same narrations would be written. So it's not just one. I have an issue with those people who actually says you are talking wrong. With the Mir guy, Sayyid Mir guy, I actually asked him the same thing. I was like, I am showing not just one, but multiple narrations written by multiple people. Please say that sorry, not Sahih, Bukhari is blasphemer against Muhammad and he should go to hell. Say it. You don't even say that about Muhammad, but at least say about the person who wrote it down and called it authentic, called it Sahih. So at least say it about him. So then we can actually move forward. But if you are saying no, whatever is written is right, yet what you are saying is right, like how can two things be right when they are opposing each other?
Yes. You see, that's the thing is that you keep telling them, like I just showed them the two words, and I like to use the Fatiha because that's the first one that everybody's memorized, like the Lord's Prayer for all Muslims, that they're different in the Hafs and in the Warsh. And I show them, look, the words almost mean the same thing. One means the owner of the day judgment, one means the king of the day judgment. But they're different. And, the thing that I always tell them is what in school, they told us, in school, they taught us that the Quran is identical to the Lawh al-Mahfuz, every single letter, every single word, every single dot, everything is the same. That's what they taught us. And right now, the letters aren't the same, the dots aren't the same, and the words aren't the same, and the verses aren't the same, and the meanings aren't the same. They'll always fall back, well, the meanings are the same. And no, the meanings aren't the same either.
Very, even to the Zair, the dash beneath, Zabar, the dash above, Pesh, even to those particular diacritical marking which makes the pronunciation in a right way, they say they are even the same. But the problem is they never had those things at the time of Muhammad. They never had those things. Not even the dots were there at Muhammad time. So
Right.
the dots were added. The 51 errors that I shown you, there are 100. There are 100 plus errors which are word which are different. That's another website I will send you. But this 51 differences are just because of the dots, putting the dots above, putting the dots below, all of these. So the dots make so much difference in Arabic. The ta, which is the third letter of the Arabic alif ba ta, becomes ya, which is the second last letter of Arabic, right? So how can you actually say that it is the same when all of these differences we can see right now in two different Qurans, the Versh and the Hafs? And these, and once again, if I remember correctly, it was 1924 when they first had the Hafs version of Quran as a standard Quran, and in 1940 something, that is when they actually, when Arabs or the Saudia made this as the standard Quran for everyone. Yet still we have two Qurans running in the world right now in majority, the Hafs version and the Versh version. Versh is in the Africa, some part of Africa and Morocco. Hafs is in the Middle Eastern region and Asia and all that. So which one is right if you talk about two? If you go before 1924, there were 37 different Qurans or 36 different Qurans which were collected by that lady in
Hatun,
Europe. What's her name? Khatun. Sorry.
Hatun Tash.
Yes, Hatun Tash. So yes, she collected them and she's showing them, like which one is in the eternal tablet of God. And by the way, this is the same question I asked Sam like at least 50 times. I asked Sam the same, which one is in Lohe Mahfuz? He never answered. He never answered, not a single time. I asked him like at least at 50 locations. The problem that I have with Sam is I am willing to give him the biblical information that he is asking, but he asked something, I give him the answer, then he moves to the next one. Dude, first acknowledge what I said is right or wrong. Give me the debate or the answer for what I gave you. If you disagree with this particular explanation that I gave you, let's have a discussion on that. Once that is done, that topic is done, we will move to the next one, then we will move to the next one, we will move to the whole Bible one by one. I have no issues, but you cannot just keep on posting one verse after another, one verse after another, and you want me to just keep on responding, and you will not agree on those, and then you will bring up another one. That is deception. This is deception, nothing more than hypocrisy. And if that is how you want to do it, I have no time for you. You want to come have a discussion, I am more than willing to have a discussion with anyone who wants to learn. I am not a scholar. Yes, I do not claim to be a scholar. If I do not have the knowledge of something, I will tell you, hey, I will ask this, I will get back to you. That is who I am, that is how I do. But once again, the things that I know, I will answer you right there and then. But you have to work on one thing before going to the other one. Does that make sense to
Yeah.
you, at least?
And to answer, and you can't get a straight answer, man. It's just like, like talking to the Jehovah's Witnesses. They want to jump from verse to verse, and the minute you start getting some substance from something, they want to move to the next subject. Especially when they're losing the argument. And so, anyway, let me go ahead and play the next.
For Jehovah, I have I have a nice rebuttal for them. You go to their jw.org website, and there is an interlinear in there as well. So their Bible that is in jw.org has interlinear in there as well. Look at their interlinear. Whatever they are saying, you will see at certain times they will change the same word which is for Jesus, and they will translate it as something else, whereas in the other location the same word of the Greek they will translate it as something else. And you can actually see that in John and in Revelation very easily. The chapter 1 of John and chapter 1 of Revelation and chapter 2 of Revelation, you will see those very easily over there, because you can actually see both of them translated in the same chapter. So if you go there, that is killing for them. They do not want you to go there.
Let me go ahead and play this next clip here. And so let me go ahead and put this up here. Oh, I'm doing the wrong thing here. I'm too old for this.
Every single
Okay.
knows
the issue of ahruf and preservation and qira'at, relationship
between them. These are very, very difficult issues. And the most advanced of our scholars, they're not quite fully certain how to solve all of the unanswered questions in there. Here's the point. These issues should only be discussed amongst people who know what the qira'at are and who understand some of these questions that are being raised.
So is what you're saying the shak that came, or not the shak, but the crisis that you had was in relation to this question of the relationship between the ahruf and the qira'at, basically?
No. The crisis I had wasn't that. The crisis I had was, that was what generated. But what was the crisis? The crisis was very simple. Traditional understandings of ahruf and qira'at cannot answer some of these pressing questions that are now being poked by our people outside of, by our academics, by their academics outside of the faith tradition. You see, in a Muslim environment, there's always some respect that we have for the Quran. We should. In a Muslim environment, we'll press a little bit and then we'll say, okay, khalas, sami'na wa ata'na. And that's great, alhamdulillah. When you go to academia, they don't have that red line. And they're going to just, the famous story of the emperor with no clothes. They're going to just point out, no, that doesn't make any sense. Well, that's not true, and this and that. And they'll bring issues, which I'm not going to mention explicitly, that you know are true because they're in your own books. They're not inventing anything new. They'll bring you riwayat
And here comes the red line.
Dude, the stuff that he says there. He says that, that with the Muslims, we respect the Quran, which we should, meaning you're not asking the questions. But the Westerners, they don't have those red lines. They want to keep on asking more. And he's saying for 1400 years, they haven't come up with an explanation that is a good, solid explanation of the ahruf and the qira'at.
Imagine that. So basically, Bible went through criticism after criticism, and they are doing criticism on Bible even today. Even though Shabir, there was a debate with, I think, Shabir Ali and J. Smith, I think, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, may the Lord forgive me. If not, with, so he actually said to him, we know that in John, the the that particular paragraph where the women of adultery came might not be found, or oh, sorry, is not found in the early manuscripts. Okay, but so my answer to him would be, the rest of the John is found in the earlier manuscript, right? Then the first chapter of John actually destroys everything that you believe in.
Yeah.
Yet you are saying that this paragraph is not found. Anyhow, Sam Shimon actually had a rebuttal on that. He gave the earliest codex where that was found as well. But anyhow, that is not even a point. The point is, let us go with Shabir, that particular paragraph was not found. Okay, fair enough, because of XYZ reason, because of some NIV actually states it was not found in certain earlier manuscripts. He removed the certain, and he actually said,
Chapter
yeah,
8. Yeah.
yes, he actually said no, the everyone says that. Okay, fair enough, doesn't matter. That paragraph has problem. Perfect. But it is there because we could find that somewhere. Yes, there, Sam had full rebuttal on that. He gave it. It's on Answering Islam as well. I haven't memorized it yet, so doesn't matter. If that is the paragraph which has a problem, fair enough, good, awesome. Then Jesus said in John, he said, when I go away, I will send the what is the word, it's
Paraclete.
not the helper, the other word that they use,
Here,
sorry,
the comforter.
comforter. And they said the comforter that Jesus was talking about is Muhammad. But if we look at it, Jesus next verse said, and I will go and I will send it to you. So if Muhammad is the comforter, then by definition Jesus is the God of Muhammad,
Yeah.
because he sent him, right? And they do not go left and right. Like in Acts of Apostle, everything is written. When the day of Pentecost come, the Holy Spirit, the comforter, came down. The and like everything is there, but they will actually say that particular sentence, and they say, comforter Muhammad,
Yeah.
comforter Muhammad. Dude, what is the next line? The next line says, Jesus said, and I will go and I will send him to you. I will send him to you. To whom he was talking to? He was talking to the apostles. Look at the paragraph. He was talking to apostles. So apostles died, all 12 of them, maybe in 70 or 80 years or 90 years or whatever. They all died, right? After that, 500 years after that, Muhammad came. How can Muhammad be that comforter? And like,
And Jesus said also, and you know him, for he is with you and will be in you. And so that's what it says about the Holy Spirit. He is with you and will be in you. And so, are they saying that Muhammad was there with them and inside all those believers at the time? So anyway, that was to find a prophecy about Muhammad. But let me go ahead and I want to play the next part of this, and we can comment on it, of Yasser Qadi's little.
The crisis that you had was in relation to this question of the relationship between the ahruf and the qira'at, basically.
No. The crisis I had wasn't that. The crisis I had was, well, yeah, wait, that was what generated. But what was the crisis? The crisis was very simple. Traditional understandings of ahruf and qira'at cannot answer some of these pressing questions that are now being poked by our people outside of, by our academics, by their academics outside of the faith tradition. You see, in a Muslim environment, there's always some respect that we have for the Quran. We should. In a Muslim environment, we'll press a little bit and then we'll say, okay, khalas, sami'na wa ata'na. And that's great, alhamdulillah. When you go to academia, they don't have that red line. And they're going to just, the famous story of the emperor with no clothes. They're going to just point out, no, that doesn't make any sense. Well, that's not true, and this and that. And they'll bring issues, which I'm not going to mention explicitly, that are true because they're in your own books. They're not inventing anything new. They'll bring you riwayat, and they'll bring you athar, and then you add to that very well-known issues of, I don't even want to be explicit. And then you bring on top of that makhtutat, and then. And it's very clear to you and to every single very advanced student and specialist that the standard narrative has holes in it. That's what I'm going to say. The standard narrative does not answer some very pressing questions. These are now well known within the Western Academy, that they're bringing forth issues. Their level of now knowledge is leaps and bounds above what it used to be, 100 years ago. What is happening in the last few years is not me anymore. It's the Western academics. These problems are now becoming mainstream. And by and large, our ulama in the Eastern world are not aware, by and large, of what's going on in the Western side of things. And they're not answering those questions in a manner that it needs to be answered.
Adam, I just wanted to mention three things that he said. Just because, some of the stuff he says is almost infuriating. It makes you so angry because this is a scholar. This is a Muslim scholar. And I think, I used to be a Muslim. I used to trust these guys. And whenever you ask a Muslim a question, that he doesn't know how to answer, the always they're going to tell you, I'm not a scholar, but the scholars have an answer. But what this guy is saying here is so infuriating, man. He says that when you're talking to Muslims, when they have a question, you just give them an answer and they'll accept it. Yeah, he's just saying that they'll accept any answer without whether it works, whether it makes sense or not. They'll just accept it because they have reverence for the Quran. I mean, that's an insult. That's insulting that he's saying that about Muslims. And then another thing he says, he says that he's saying about the emperor with no clothes, the story of the emperor with no clothes. And he was saying that about Islam, that Islam is the emperor with no clothes, and that people are no longer just going along with it. And he's admitting this. And then, of course, there's a very famous quote, which many people have taken and made videos about, and that is that he says, our explanation, there's holes in the narrative. It doesn't work anymore. Muslims, please listen to this is one of your top scholars. He's telling you the things they've been telling you are like the naked emperor walking through the streets. He's saying that the explanations that they've been giving to you, there are holes in this narrative. It makes me angry when I hear him say this, because he's the one that everybody depends on. Whenever you ask a Muslim a question, they'll say, I'm not a sheikh, I'm not a scholar, but they'll fight you to the death, believing that their scholars will be able to answer it. And this is what their scholars are saying. There's holes in the things we've been telling you. We've been lying to you. It's almost to the point where he's saying that. So
imagine, we can see that. Imagine Mimi Hijab is actually asking him. So he is a bigger scholar than Mimi Hijab. Yes, after this conversation, Mimi Hijab made so many videos where he actually denounced him, where he actually called him different names, as always, because that's what he is. Mimi Hijab is basically a thug. He works like a thug, he acts like a thug, and he does things like a thug. And that's what it is. That's what he is basically. But the whole idea is that the person that he goes to and gets the information from, he is saying that there are holes in the narrative, there are red lines that we do not cross, and you shouldn't cross as well. When we are talking alone, I will tell you everything. But when we are talking in public, don't do not ask me these things because I do not have the answers. That's what he's saying.
He said something else too. And the reason I want to bring it up, I wish I had the video. I can bring it for a future episode. But he said something that is exactly what the Jewish priests said in the gospel. There was a point where where the some of the people were coming to the Jewish priests and said to them, "Look, all the people are following Jesus." And the priests, you know what they said? They said, "This uneducated masses, nobody of the upper class is following him. It's all these uneducated masses who don't know nothing. They're the ones who are following Jesus." Where you see the arrogance of the priests over the people, saying they're uneducated masses, and that we're better than them. But you know what Yasser Qadi said in this interview, and I'll get it for the next time, is he says these are things that we can discuss, but we shouldn't talk about it in front of the people. We shouldn't be talking about this in front of the people. I never did a video about this. I never did a class about this. And we should discuss it between ourselves, but not in front of the people. And it's just like, dude, do you dare say that? And I couldn't believe he said that. Oops. Sorry, Matt. Oops. So, what happened?
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, there you go. Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead. Sorry about that, man. I accidentally got you off the screen.
No worries. So yes, so that's how dramatic the situation is, that they do not even want to talk about these things in front of others, because that actually destroys their whole narratives, which per him has holes. And actually, like you said previously, if a scholar cannot answer these questions, how can you follow the religion? How can you follow this religion, which is basically based on the fact that Quran is the word of God, Allah, and it is not changed? Because you are actually destroying all the hadiths that we claim are authentic, not we, sorry, that the scholars claimed are authentic. You are actually destroying all of them. Why? Because the current moralities of the world has changed, and the world has higher moralities at this moment, not the 6th century Arabia moralities, and they have better moralities. And now you have an issue. And the issue is that all of those hadiths describes Muhammad to be immoral based on current morality levels. Hence you denounce them. Okay, fair enough. Those hadiths are now denounced. You say it, okay, say it. You just say it. You do not actually make them denounce. You actually say it from your mouth, because they are still categorized as sahih in any book that actually you read. The only thing that is remaining is Quran. And when you read Quran, you actually add words in it to make that meaning more better. You actually change the Quranic translation of the Arabic to make it better. Yet, if you look at what that Quran is actually about, and when it came up and how it got preserved, so-called preserved, you have no way to run, because it actually states that it is wrong. It is wrongfully stated, all of these things. You have no explanation, because there is none. There is none. There is none. And that when you actually ask about Bible and all, you have the audacity to actually ask about Bible, when those people, these people who are actually claiming this, when they read and understand Bible, rather not understand, when they actually check the authenticity of the Bible, they actually find it to be there. They actually find those proofs and those evidences there. The English library, the European English library, I will send you the link, actually have the first century parchment, if I'm right, if I'm pronouncing the right word for that, is are scanned theirs. They're placed there, they are scanned and they are placed there. So you can actually go and read them and verify them with the Bible that you have in your hand or in the Bible hub. So basically you have those things, whereas what do you have? You have nothing, literally nothing. which rock are you standing on? That's my question to you. If the hadiths are wrong and you are picking and choosing the sahih hadiths, and you say this is wrong and this is right, because you actually have to pick and choose, otherwise you can't even offer prayer, you can't even offer perform wudu, you cannot do anything without hadiths. Otherwise you would actually denounce all the hadiths and go to Quran. If the Quran was actually explaining how to offer prayer, how to offer 5 prayer, and these are the 5 prayers and these are the rakahs of the prayer, and this is how you offer prayer, nothing is there in the Quran. So you have to pick up hadiths anyways, otherwise you cannot do all of these basic necessity things that you actually have to perform. So if you're picking and choosing versus hadiths, then hadiths has a huge problem. If you look at Quran and you look at the earlier manuscripts, you can actually write ta'lamun as ya'lamun, nufarraku with yufarraku, and etc etc. There's so many, ma tunzilu, ma yunzilu. You can actually write it as multiple ways by just putting the dots up or down, right? And this is how Hafs and Warsh came up to being like the 51 differences. The other over 60 differences are ahruf differences, the wording differences as well, like where there are full word as different. So if you look at all of these things, yet you claim Quran is most authentic and it is preserved. If this is the argument that somebody would give about Bible, you would destroy them fully. You would fully destroy them, right? You'll say this is preservation, this is preservation. Look at your own preservation, guys. Please look at it. That's my begging to you to look at it.
You know, that's what I was, with one of my cousins today. That he's the one that brought it up, and in fact, he's the reason why I want to talk about this today, is because I was telling him he's the one. I said when he said, look at the beautiful, glorious Quran, and I said which one, and and that's what set all this up. That he started, saying, giving the usual excuses, and the new thing is. The new thing that he said today is about all the different versions. He says those aren't Qur'ans; those are mushafs. And when you say mushaf, for people, mushaf is like saying those are like books, not necessarily the Quran. But like these are the books. But not exactly of the same value or weight as the Quran. And yet, the problem with that is that you go, like you got the Hafs and the Warsh, two different ones. I usually have them. I don't have them today. Is that you go to a country where they predominantly read the Warsh, they're going to say they have the one that's on the Lawh al-Mahfuz, the preserved tablet, and that the Hafs is the one that's corrupted. And then you go to the, so no matter where you do, it's a lose-lose situation no matter what you do. And then when you're talking about 37 different Qur'ans, and you're talking about all these different, and so they're coming up with different words. And I just look at how they try to avoid the subject that, it's like no matter what you say, they're going to keep coming back. No, there's only one glorious Quran and it's perfectly preserved, which is what Yasser Qadi at the end, after he started getting, pushback for what the stuff he said here, he started saying, no, there's only one glorious Quran and it's never been changed. It's perfectly preserved. Even after he said all these things, and it's just like, it just go back to that tape recording that's in their head. And you know what? I was a Muslim and I believe that too. Did you believe that when you were a Muslim?
Obviously. And basically what happened was, I think I actually stated that in my previous testimony as well. First thing was that I denounced hadiths, right? I denounced hadiths and I became one of the branch of Sunni Muslim who actually it is Quran only. Okay. And then I was like,
Hey,
then it is, I will just qiyam
Adam,
the salah. Yes,
Adam, you're cutting in and off. I'm wondering if there's like a wire that's loose or something.
hold on. Let me just take off my headphone and put it back.
Hey, all, he's checking out his. There's a little bit of static when he speaks, so I asked him to check it. So he's checking that right now. So that's why there's a little bit of a gap. for anybody who just joined us, or we're talking about the main subject of the day. A very famous video by Yasser Qadi, a very famous Islamic scholar in the United States, who recently made some very wild statements about the Quran. Things that we Christian have been saying for years, but the Muslim scholars haven't been agreeing to. But now they're agreeing that what the Christians have been saying is true, that there are many Qur'ans. There isn't just one Qur'an. There are many, and that they're different, and that all the explanations that they've been giving for the last 1400 years about this don't work anymore. And so this is what Yasser Qadi was saying. It caused a huge controversy. Many Muslims have left Islam because of this interview with Yasser Qadi. And so it's a huge issue. And, David Wood, I really like what he said about, he was doing an interview with another scholar. I can't remember his name. But, they're saying that the foundations under Islam are crumbling because the belief that there is one perfectly preserved Quran, which I remember being taught in school, which all Muslims are taught. And even after seeing all this evidence, I think most Muslims are still going to say, is that there is only one Quran. It is perfectly preserved. Allah has preserved it. He didn't preserve the Torah. He didn't preserve the gospel, but he preserved the Quran. Nobody can change it. It's impossible to change it. And even though you got all these zillions of differences between all these different Qur'ans, there's still only one perfectly preserved Quran, which is exactly like the Lawh al-Mahfuz, the preserved tablet. And so anyway, that's what we're talking about right now. And so I'm not sure what's going on here with my brother. Let me see if I could do anything here. Okay. Hello, Adam. Can you? Oh. Hi, Adam. Can you hear me, Adam? Not sure what happened here. So anyway, that's what we've been talking about. And so maybe he's going to try to go out and then come back in again so that he could continue. He was making a point about this video. And let me go ahead and, I encourage you to hear it over and over again, because each time
Every
you pick
single
up something new,
This is a topic that when you're the beginning student of knowledge, you're like, what is all? He is the Qari of the Quran.
The
The lectures that
master.
I've mentioned, the
that happened to me
crises that
This
happen
was
are very, very
And
difficult issues.
the most
And
advanced of our
the most
scholars.
advanced of our scholars,
They're not quite fully certain how
they're not
to
quite fully certain how
solve
to
all of the unanswered
solve
questions
all of the
in there.
unanswered questions in there. Here's the
These
point.
issues should only be discussed amongst people who know what the qira'at are and who understand some of these questions that are being
So
raised.
is what you're saying?
Okay. He just said that thing that I was telling Adam about, where he says these things should only be discussed among, experts who know about these things. And so he's saying that it shouldn't be discussed with the regular people, similar to what the Jews said in the Bible about. Hi, Adam.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I
Or
can hear
still
you.
not? Perfect. Yeah, so that's what I was saying, that when I rejected all the hadiths, because you cannot pick and choose suddenly out of the blue, right? And then the only thing that I was standing on was Quran. And when I started researching on Quran itself, I realized we do not have a single Quranic manuscript that dates back to Uthman. The Birmingham manuscript that they actually says that actually dates back pretty old. It has that story of Ashabul Kahf, right? That's the one which is mentioned in there, and they don't have anything else other than that for that particular one. And it is written in a dialect which is called let me see what is the name of that dialect, which is actually a Turkish dialect, if I'm not mistaken. So
I'm sorry.
yes, sir. Please carry on. So that
Go
Birmingham
ahead.
manuscript style is actually not even a half Qurashi style of writing. So it is written in a dialect which is actually uh, a script dialect of uh, not dialect, sorry, my bad, I am sorry, Hijaz. Where is Hijaz, by the way? They are called Hijazi.
It's like the Arabian Peninsula.
Mhm. Down south, Hijaz. So
Yes.
so basically, you actually do not have anything to actually dates back to Muhammad, which actually has some Quranic script, and we all know that those stories are coming from uh, Greek writings and all those kind of stories, Greek and Roman writings where these things kind of like happen, and Muhammad, knowing these things, just stated certain things here and there, and that is why even in Quran there is a verse where it says, Muhammad, you are giving us stories. Well, people were saying, Muhammad, you are giving stories. And Quran said, ah, these are not stories. These are the authentic words of Allah. Do you remember that particular verse?
Yes. Do you mean
So,
where it's located?
yeah.
I don't remember where it's
Mm,
located, but I do know that verse. Yeah.
And those, yeah, and those who says Quran is stories by Muhammad. Yeah. So yeah, so this is everywhere. This is everywhere. This is Quran 39:33 and 21:107. Yes. Muhammad only a messenger. No. Wrong. My bad. Anyhow, we all know that there's a verse over there. I will search on it, and in my next video live, I will share that as well. So all of these are there. You yet still have to prove that you have a perfectly preserved Quran, which even your greatest scholars, which you say, do you have a PhD in Arabic? Do you have a PhD in Quranic studies? Do you have a PhD in Islamic studies? None of them are able to answer, even though that this guy is a teacher, a lecturer, a professor who gives lectures to Muslims, is not able to answer. And he's saying there is holes in the narratives.
And he says the deeper you get, the harder it gets. The deeper you get studying this thing, the more you realize this is a disaster. That's what he said. He blatantly said that. And then he said, for 1,400 years, we've been trying to explain it, and we can't. And when you tell, and this bothers me again, I'll say it again. He says, but when you tell Muslims, they'll just accept it and say, oh, yeah, that's an answer. And I even saw that once. I thought there was this, I think it was Kabir Ali, and there was an interview with Kabir Ali and this girl, and he was talking to her about Islam. And then at the end, she goes, well, what about the seven ahruf? And he goes, oh, yeah, those are just dialects. And she goes, oh, okay. She just accepted that. You know, most people aren't going to accept that. That explanation doesn't work. And so, and that's what Yasser Kai said. When you look deeper into it, that explanation doesn't work. It doesn't fit with everything else that we've been taught about the Quran and stuff. Anyway, we have gone on for about an hour and more than an hour and a half, and
Yeah,
and you
long, yes.
and, and you already had your own your own live stream today. So anyway,
Yep.
go ahead.
I was about to say something over here. Like when we were kids, like in teenagers, when we were sent to mosque to study Islam and Islamic script from our imams and all, you have questions. Like I had questions, and same thing happened. That my imam showed me that verse that I earlier showed you, and you recited it as well. That do not ask questions at a certain level. You are not supposed to ask questions. There is a red line where they want us to stop, and that's what happened, I think, with every Muslim, male or female. Like that is how it is. They always stop you to go beyond questioning because they do not have the answers. And I don't think that there is a one single Muslim who would have some logical brain and who would ask questions, and after a certain time he was not given a shut up call by the imam. That is standard, and I'm
You,
amazed that they're still following it.
we just got a comment, and it was a kind of a nasty comment. But you know, it's a kind of a nasty comment that kind of makes me want to not stop this yet. Yazan Rashid, it says, please bring a real human being, not a cow and a rat worshiper, to talk about Islam. So I guess I'm the cat, I'm the cow, and
I'm
I
the
guess
rat.
they consider you a worshiper, or I'm not sure what. But you know, it's like I just want to tell you, Yazan, you know, I'm
No, I
an
think
ex-Muslim.
I think because Yazan actually thinks, because of my accent, he thinks that I am from India, and that's why he's saying that I am a Hindu, probably, and I'm a cow and a rat worshipper. So, like, if you think that I am a Hindu, amazing, that is amazing. Rather, basically, I am saying I was a Muslim. So basically, what happened right now is you actually called all the Muslims as cow and rat worshippers. Quite frankly, that's what happened right now. And
Yeah.
if you look at it, you are actually bowing down to a stone. All of you are
Okay.
actually bowing down to a stone that is called uh, Hajra Aswad, right? The black stone. You are bowing down to that stone, which actually has been stolen by a man, a mere human being, and kept for 23 years. He broke it into pieces and returned that when Arabs paid him money in 7 pieces, and he sold the rest in different locations. And that is what you have in Kaaba at this moment. Everybody can go and verify it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, he just he just clarified that he wasn't talking about, he was talking about the
yeah.
Indian guy, which I think means so. But he says here, I bet you are
See,
Hindu, and
I already told you where cow and rat worshipper comes up. See, that's the problem, because they cannot even perceive that a Muslim will leave Islam because they haven't read their own scriptures. And Muslims are leaving Islam left, right, and center. The problem with this is that if you are in the Middle Eastern region, right, or if you are anywhere where there is Muslim majority, you cannot even pronounce it publicly. You cannot actually go and say, I am an ex-Muslim now, change my passport where it says religion and change it to Christian or change it to atheist. You cannot do that because of the laws of those country. And that's why we had apostate in Islam, where I gave you all the laws of those countries that they are. So you can call me a non-Muslim, but it does not make me a non-Muslim. I was a Muslim. I was a Sayyid, I was a Shah, right? Rather, I am a Shah because my bloodline doesn't changes, right? I People in my village would not sit next to me. Those people would actually sit beneath me. That was who I was. Now I am hiding from all of those people. Why? Because I said that Islam is wrong. Muhammad is a false prophet. They are going to kill me. That is Islam in essence, because they want to kill me just because I am not a Muslim. And because I had a higher ranking in Muslim, where people would acknowledge me and respect me just because of my caste and my Sajra Nasb, which I have, the whole ancestry tree going back all the way, they are more furious. So these people on the internet, they can call me, I was not a Muslim, I was not a Muslim, it does not matter to me, right? What I was, and I'm right now ashamed that I have some kind of a bloodline of Muhammad, right? But basically, if you look at it, he preached the satanic acts, and I'm showing what satanic acts he preached. So basically, I'm clearing my bloodline.
you are purifying it, taking it back to what it was before Islam, you know, came in, and it's like that's one reason why I keep the name Hussein. Uh, the I keep it because I want to take it away from the Islamic, because it's a Muslim name, and it's got such a big history with Islam. But I want to take it. But this is what Yazan says, and I want to respond to Yazan. He's saying He says millions of Christians are becoming Muslims, and maybe 10 Christians every couple of years leave Islam. You know, Yazan, I want to. I'm going to go ahead and put this in, and then I'm going to put it. I'm not going to show you the whole thing. It's in Arabic. I don't know if you speak Arabic. إذا بتحكي عربي أنا بحكي عربي عربي مشصر بس بحكي عربي. But this is a video that was on Al Jazeera News, Yazan. And on Al Jazeera News, it said that 6 million Muslims a year in Africa are becoming Christians. 6 million Muslims a year in Africa alone, not including the Middle East, not including India, not including Pakistan and Bangladesh and the rest of the world. Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, not including all that, just in Africa every year. And this is a sheikh. This is the sheikh that's doing it. Sheikh Ahmed, I believe Qatada is his name. He's saying that every year, this isn't just all of history, this is every single year, 6 million Muslims in Africa alone become Christian. So you're saying that, maybe a couple dozen. No, 6 million. 6 million a year become Christian. So,
And
your statistics are wishful, but they're not real.
please
Go
run the
ahead.
video that I just gave you as well. That is the reason why
Okay.
we have to hide. That is the reason that I cannot show my face. This is there, and this all scholar is also pronouncing it. So run that video. It is, even though that it is in Arabic, but it has an English translation underneath it. So yeah, so why am I hiding face? Why am I hiding my name? Because my own distant relatives would actually are against me, and they will be the one before anybody else would destroy me and my family. Just like so many people who were here on Facebook actually threatened me so many times in the past as well. So that threats over here probably means nothing, but in my country they means very much real. And this particular imam and sheikh actually is describing why Islam is actually a religion still, and it is there for quite a long time already. You just need to listen to these people who knows Arabic, who has everything, and they are actually claiming these things. If they are claiming these things, how can you say otherwise? You haven't even verified anything, you just state things. You have not verified anything. Go verify. And next time, if you want to have a discussion about Muhammad and his immoralities that I have described according to hadiths which are sahih, according to sunnah, according to Quran, I am more than willing to have a discussion. But do not claim certain things that you don't even know. I think your Muhammad should have said somewhere that don't lie. Did he not? So, and don't assume, and you do not know the niyyah of the other person, right? So please do not do that for the sake of the Allah that you actually believe in. Don't accuse others for something. Steve, please run this video.
لما تركوا الردة ما كان هناك إسلام، كان انتهى الإسلام منذ وفاة الرسول عليه الصلاة والسلام. فالوقوف أمام الردة هو الذي أبقى الإسلام. وفي آية المائدة إنما جزاء الذين يحاربون الله ورسوله ويسعون في الأرض أن يقتلوا أو يصلبوا، جاء عن أبي قلابة وغيره من التابعين إن هذه جاءت في المرتدين، وجاءت أحاديث كثيرة. مش حديث واحد ولا اثنين ولا ثلاثة، أحاديث كثيرة عن عدد من الصحابة يعني في أن يقتل المرتد. حديث ابن عباس من بدل دينه فاقتلوه. حديث ابن مسعود لا يحل امرئ إلا بإحدى ثلاث: السيب الزاني
والنفس بالنفس،
النفس بالنفس، والتارك لدينه المفارق للجماعة. وحديث أبي موسى الأشعري ومعاذ ابن جبل وأبي هريرة وعدد من الصحابة في مسألة من تركوا الردة ما كان هناك إسلام. كان انتهى الإسلام منذ وفاة الرسول عليه الصلاة والسلام. فالوقوف أمام الردة هو الذي أبقى الإسلام. وفي آية المائدة إنما جزاء الذين يحاربون الله ورسوله ويسعون في الأرض أن يقتلوا أو يصلبوا. جاء عن أبي قلابة وغيره من التابعين إن هذه جاءت في المرتدين، وجاءت أحاديث كثيرة، مش حديث واحد ولا اثنين ولا ثلاثة، أحاديث كثيرة عن عدد من الصحابة يعني في أن يقتل المرتد. حديث ابن عباس من بدل دينه فاقتلوه. حديث ابن مسعود لا يحل امرئ إلا بإحدى ثلاث: السيب الزاني
والنفس بالنفس
والنفس بالنفس والتارك لدينه المفارق للجماعة. وحديث أبي موسى الأشعري ومعاذ ابن جبل وأبي هريرة وعدد من الصحابة في مسألة
So, anybody has any doubt about the apostates of Islam? We can't hear you, Steve, by the way. Just to let you know.
You know, one thing he did there that I've never heard before is to use verse 533 of the Quran about apostates. I never heard that before. You know, I mean, it says those who cause corruption in the land, crucify them, cut their hands off and their feet. That's what it says. Those who cause corruption. I never heard that the ones who cause corruption are the apostates. I never heard that that was applied to us.
Because when you are apostate, you are and you claim it openly, you are actually creating shar, and that is that word is actually shar. If you look at the Ali Dawa, I think Ali Dawa, who actually said that publicly they should be killed publicly by the Amir of that country and all. So he was actually referring to that as well. In other words, so basically this whole scenario of creating shar is a very generic term, as you know. Corruption in the land, like basically if you're saying Allah is not God and Muhammad is not a prophet, you are actually creating shar for all major Muslims. So there is a way that you actually present Islam, and then there is a way that the Islam is presented inside the Islamic country. I do not know for how long you have been in United States, but I spent most of my adult life in a Muslim majority country. And I have been devout enough that I would go to mosque multiple times a day. I wouldn't say 5 times because that's what I wouldn't do. But I have never missed a Jummah khutbah, Friday prayer, and Friday khutbah. And I have been to mosque for the last 10 days of Ramadan. For you go for etikaf, right? So those khutbahs that are given to you in etikaf and all, those things that are told to you when you are inside a Muslim majority country surrounding the Muslim majority are very different than how they present it on the internet, on Facebook or on YouTube or on CNN basically. So they can use anything against you in a Muslim majority country. They use anything against you when you apostate. And there are so many other videos that I have, but this is one of the major common one. And that's how it is. And to anyone who thinks I was a...
You know, the guy, you know what this guy says? You know, because I had another one of my cousins, all my cousins, telling me how, you know, Islam has the 1 billion followers. You know, Muhammad did it without Twitter. He did it without the Facebook. He did it without, you know, the internet. And he has 1 billion followers, which I think he has more than that. But, you know, and what I wrote was, it's the power of the sword. It's the power of the sword. That's exactly what this guy says. This guy says without the punishment for apostasy, Islam would have disappeared. That's what the guy just said. Without the fear of being killed, Muslims would have left Islam. And
And then
unbelievable.
look at it, Steve. I'm sorry, I'm cutting you short. Like when Muhammad died, what did they started doing? All the caliphs, what did they starting doing? They started attacking.
Fleeing
They started
Islam.
attacking all the countries surrounding them. They will give them three options as per Quran, not per Hadith, as per Quran. Either you accept Islam, or get ready for fight, or pay jizya. So you have three options. And jizya per Quran is a humiliation for that community or that area. So you have three options: either get ready for fight, or become Muslim, or pay jizya. So they started conquering the cities. Islam never spreaded with peace. Spreading with peace means how the apostles did. They went out, they preached. They preached. None of them was a caliph. None of them was actually attacking anybody. They were preaching the good news. When it comes to Islam, they actually started conquering. They actually started attacking. So if you do not pay jizya, get ready for fight, you win. So this is how Islam spread. This is the history of Islam, is written by Islamic scholars, not by anybody else, because the winner actually writes this history. So the winner is actually writing that we attacking this country because of xyz things. So they will create so many things. We attacked this country because this was happening. We attacked this country because we got a letter from somebody who's saying I am a Muslim, and they are persecuting me, etc., etc., all these kind of stuff. But once again, they attacked. Which country did they win without attack? Even Makkah was attacked on by Muhammad and Madian people of Muhammad, and they attacked that city. So, like, which of the country did you actually won by just spreading the good news of Quran? Let's just say, put it this way: none. You actually attacked, and then you made them Muslim. And then once they were saying I'm Muslim, and they would say I'm not a Muslim anymore because now I read the whole Quran and now I read the whole Hadith. And you can't even say that, because if you say that, you will be killed in a Muslim country by the Caliph. And Uthman and Umar and Abu Bakr and Ali, per Hadith references, killed many apostates. I have shown those hadiths last time. So anyone who actually wants to look at those hadiths references, they can watch our previous Facebook live.
I want to ask Yazan, because Yazan, Muhammad attacked Mecca to free the slaves from Quraysh. Yeah, this is what Yazan is saying.
I think he
Muhammad
hasn't
attacked Mecca to say.
he hasn't seen our last
But
debate of
I want to ask.
sorry.
Yeah, I want to ask Yazan. I don't know Yazan. I don't know you. I'm not sure. Maybe you're one of my cousins too, but I don't recognize the name. But I want to ask you, Yazan. Do you agree? Verse min uqtilu. Do you agree with that, Yazan? فَمِنْ بَدَّلْ دِينُ فَاقْتُلُوهُ. Whoever changes his Islamic religion, kill him. That's what Muhammad said. These are the words of Muhammad, Yazan. Yazan, do you agree with this? Are you watching? You are, because you're still writing comments. Do you agree with this? Meaning, بدل دينه فأقتل. I know your father, and I have great respect. Okay, so you probably are my cousin. Hey, these are all my cousins, man. Okay. So, thank you. And I'm sure your family and everything too, Yazan. But ask you, Yazan, he says, "Men bedel dino fa'uqtilu." Do you agree with that? Now look what this says. Didn't the Bible stone to kill
Yeah, that's
to
the whole
death?
thing. These people will always go back to Old Testament and the law of Moses, and I have given them enough evidences and told them many times that those laws were for the time. If they weren't for the time, then Jesus would not have come in and gave us the New Testament and explained that I am the law and I'm giving you the explanation of the law. that is for the time, and that time was gone. So as a Muslim, tell them, ask them how many laws were Moses given. They will actually tell you 10 commandments. Do as when you read the Bible, do you see only 10 commandments, or do you see 219 commandments? Rather, after 10 commandments, there were 219 laws that were given to Moses. The whole scenario is that those were for that particular time and era. Just like when Muhammad changed his verses. In the beginning, Muhammad said, per Quran, Allah said that the homer that you make out of grapes and fruits is, and that gives you intoxicated drink, and that gets you intoxicated, is a miracle of Allah, is a miracle of Allah. But later Allah said that alcoholic beverage is satanic act. So which one are you going to accept it? And actually the verse actually states it gives you good tiding because you make tijara with it. So so basically, if you're accepting that, and in 23 years of Muhammad's life, you actually have abrogation in the verses in just 23 years, just 23 years, where at one time people are drinking alcohol, people are enjoying alcohol, people are doing tijara with alcohol, and then at a later time they are throwing alcohol out in the streets per hadiths. I'm just giving you the references of the hadiths. They are throwing alcohol down on the streets. You are telling me that a law which was present 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 years before Christ, and even though that Christ said that I will give you the explanation, and he gave the explanations, we are still have to follow the laws of the Old Testament. That is hypocrisy at the very least. If your Quran is giving abrogations within Quran in just 23 years of collection of Quran, yet you are forcing us to accept the Old Testament laws right now. Give
Yeah.
me the New Testament where
Yes.
Jesus explained anything, where the apostles said under the inspiration of the Holy Spirit when they said something and that is wrong or bad. Do not bring me the Old Testament. I have the Old Testament as knowledge what happened in the past. My following is for the New Testament. Just if you have these questions, go to Jews.
Okay. Yazan? Yes.
Awesome!
Yazan, I want to ask
That
you.
is a
Yazan.
beautiful verse. Tell him to post the full verse. I'm sorry, Steve.
Okay.
I'm just so tempted. Tell him to post the full verse. Now he mentioned this verse. Tell him to post the full
Okay.
verse.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead, Yazan. You hear what he's saying? I was going to say something else, but I would like to hear what Adam has to say about this verse. He says, "Go ahead and post the whole verse. Don't just put part of it." Is chapter 5, verse 32? Yes. Yes. It's 5:32. Can you post the whole verse? Is that what you're talking about,
That is the
Yazan?
only
I mean,
verse. Yeah, that's the
Adam?
only verse that he gave half of it. Post the whole verse, and let's see if it is a command on Muslims or on the Jews or the people of Israel. So
Yes.
you are saying
Yes.
something out of the context.
That's Obama's favorite verse, chapter 5, verse 32. And I
Yes,
just want to say real
Yazan, you
quickly,
need to
Yazan,
learn and listen. When I'm saying I'm an ex-Muslim, I do not believe in Quran now. I used to believe it. Please comprehend this situation. It is your Quran, not mine anyways. Not mine now. Come on, bring up the verse. Don't be a fool. Don't be an idiot over here. Send the full verse. I hate these
I
people.
just want to tell you, Yazan, I just want to tell you that the verse that you're quoting, it says this was written to the Israelites. It says to the Israelites, God said, "He that kills one soul, it's as if he killed the whole world, and if he saved one soul, it's as if he saved the whole world." The one to the Muslims is the verse 3, which is what the sheikh the sheikh talked about it, and what the sheikh said is you cut their hands off and their feet off and you fry them. He said that's what you're supposed to do to the apostates. That's what the sheikh just said. We're talking about a Muslim.
Steve, you're cutting out short.
Neither of us
You cut out a lot.
are Muslims. We were Muslims before. both of us were Muslims. We're not Muslims anymore. We're Christians now.
Yes, sorry, Steve. A lot of your conversation got cut off. I think you should paste the whole verse, which says, "O people of Israel, this is what," and then you can paste the
Okay.
other verse because, um, uh,
That, that's Obama's favorite verse. Obama used to always say that, as if that's the only verse of the
dude,
Quran.
that's a CNN verse as well.
I know CNN loves it, and the guy who used to be they all use this. This is, and it's so funny that the only peaceful verse they can find is the one to the Jews.
The one that is actually talking to Jews, and they proclaim it. Like the verse is saying,
And it's from the Torah. It's from the Torah too. So that's from the Talmud. I mean, it's from the Talmud. So
I'm sorry. Yeah, like you are telling us. So when we proclaim something, they tell us, hey, look at the reference, look at the reference, look at the reference. This, like, look at the 3 verses before, or 4 verses after, or 10 verses in another chapter, or 5 verses in another chapter. They will bring so many verses when we actually proclaim a verse. But they are hypocrite enough to not even post the full verse. They take the portion of the verse and say, this is what it is. Like, you don't even have the audacity to paste the full verse and then look at the full verse. uh, at least read it. Read what the full verse is saying. And this is the second verse right after that, which was actually for Muslims. So before that verse, it is the verse where it's saying it to Bani Israel, that I have given you the command that if you kill one human being, you have killed the whole humanity. And then it is, this one is for the Muslims, and it is saying for for the Muslimun, it is saying, hey, if somebody creates fasad, either kill him or uh, crucify him or cut his hands and feet from the opposite side. And does Quran tells you what shar or fasad it is talking about? No, never, never. So you can put this verse on anywhere, at any person, at any time, and do whatever with this verse, because the whole Quran does not talks any relevance to this verse. You have no relevance of at all. So anyone can take it in any way. And that is why the other video that we did about apostate, and that guy actually said apostate should be killed, and not by the any other person, but by the government, by under the law, and under the Khalif, and he should be put to death, and we will be watching. That is what he said. We played it last time, and the topic is apostate in Islam. Watch it. Learn your own religion before you come and talk to us. Learn your own religion first before coming to talk to us. We got out of this because me and Steve, I'm talking about us only at this moment, we read, we learned what Islam is. And when we learned, we realized that this is not a true religion. We got out of it. We clapped our
yeah,
hands, removed the dust from our hand of Islam, and then we said, it is not Islam. It is not true. Then I was an apostate. And then I was an atheist kind of a person. After I read the Bible, and after I read what Jesus said, after I read what Jesus did, and Quran actually said Jesus was sinless. Jesus was sinless. He started saying per Quran, since he was childhood, that I have the scriptures. Per Quran, the book that you follow right now, still follow right now, that I used to follow, even in that, Jesus is sinless. Jesus was sinless. Muhammad has been told so many times, at least 4 or 5 times in Quran, to ask for the forgiveness of yourself and your ummah. Ask the forgiveness for yourself and for the ummah in Quran. But for Jesus, how can he ask for forgiveness when he was a sinless? So the Quran actually denies himself Muhammad as being anything, basically, if you look at it. Because if Jesus was sinless, there is no purpose for another so-called prophet to come up. If you say Jesus was only a prophet, Muhammad came in the 6th century Arabia, the Arabic desert, where the whole revelation started with nothing at all, out of the blue, and he started stating certain things which doesn't make sense. We can actually, Steve, we can actually do a full video on that. I think I'm literally tired now, speaking for a very long time already.
Yeah, you've been going for a long time.
Yeah.
I just want to say one thing, Adam, about when you said that you hate people that like about
I didn't
I
mean
was
to say Muslims. I don't hate Muslims. I hate these people who provide hypocritical arguments. If you want to provide an
yeah,
argument with the proper reference, and I'm with you. But these people like Yazdan and all these
but
people who says you are not an ex-Muslim, you are not an ex-Muslim, you were a Hindu, you were this, you were that. Why are you pointing fingers at me? Have I ever given you anything other than the references which are written? No. Why I hate these hypocrisy? Why are you pointing fingers at me? Why are you giving half-cooked verses? Why aren't you giving me full-fledged knowledge? If you have it,
yeah,
enlighten us. Get us back to Islam,
yeah.
right? So
But that's the thing is you hate the hypocrisy, not the person.
not at all, not at all, not at all. The person as a Muslim, I have no issues with them. I have no
Yeah,
issues with them. I have issues with Islamic scriptures. I have issues with Muhammad who
yeah.
said kill the apostates. I have issues with the
And
laws,
hypocrisy,
right? But like
and the hypocrisy.
the hypocrisy of the people that are here, that I said I hate this because now I got furious for a second, which I shouldn't, but I got furious and I'm sorry for that. But like, because like
Yeah,
this guy started as you are not an ex-Muslim, you are a Hindu, then he brings half-cooked verses. Like, come on, you are here to talk about Islam, at least bring some
yeah,
knowledge. Do not point fingers. Tell me where I am wrong. Do you want to take a test of me that I was a Muslim? Take a test. Do you want me to show my face and where I live? That is idiotic, because if you remove the apostate laws, I will show my face. Remove the apostate law from all the countries, the Muslim countries that you have, and I will show my face. I will be open in the center of everything, and I will show you what that means. But do not be a hypocrite, please. That I humbly ask you. And I'm sorry that I got a bit
yeah.
angry.
Yeah, I think that yeah. Well, that's one of the things that whenever you come on, and not just you, because I had a woman come on the other day with me, and she was the same way. And I said, you know what? This is a huge statement. It's a huge statement that you come on and I can't show your face. It says something about Islam that you can't show your face because they're supposed to kill us. And I'm taking a risk by putting my face on here because I'm under the same penalty. They could come and fulfill that command. And my cousins always say, "Oh, look, you're still alive," and nothing happened to you. The only reason nothing happened is because no one has obeyed those rules yet. That very direct command from Muhammad: whoever changes his religion, kill him. So nobody's obeyed it yet, but yeah, and no one has obeyed it
And
yet.
because you are not in a
And
Muslim
so,
majority
I
country,
don't know.
sir, you are not in a Muslim majority country. There is no law in a non-Muslim country. The laws are in Muslim majority country
Yeah,
where me or that lady would live. So we are not even
yeah,
penalized by the mobs. We are actually penalized by the country itself by law. Whereas you are in a country where
yeah.
by law you are not doing anything wrong, but yes, a mob can come up and suddenly and might try to kill you, or someone might try to kill you just because he wants to go into Jannah, and he knows that he
Yeah.
will be killed by the law of the country after killing you. But somebody might just be angry at you someday and he might try to kill you. But but in our country it is a law. So, like, come on, seriously.
That's a huge statement right there. Just the fact that you can't show it shows you the truth about Islam. It shows you that that's one of the apostate prophet always says. He says one of the reasons that I fight Islam is because I'm under threat. I'm under threat because I chose to follow my conscience. And someone could kill me because I chose to follow my conscience. And so that's the problem with Islam, is that you have to kill us according to the words of Muhammad, according to the words of the Quran. And then the Sheikh today gave us a new verse. I've never heard it used that way, but the Sheikh today says that if it wasn't for these laws to kill apostates, Islam would have disappeared. I can't believe it. I'm going to play that. I'm going to play that again. I can't believe it, but I want everybody to see that. You know, this is Sheikh Qaradawi. This guy's a big deal. He's a huge, huge. I think he was the Mufti. And I may be wrong, but I think he was the Mufti of Jamiat al-Azhar. You know, the University of Al-Azhar, which is the Vatican of Sunni Islam. This guy's huge, and for him to say this on television, you know, and anyway, Adam. You know what, Adam? I think you've been you put a real, you worked really hard today, and we really appreciate all you coming on. And I know you already had your own live stream, and then you came on to mine. And why don't we just end this? I want to show this video.
Amen.
Just go ahead and show it more time. Back to close us out with a prayer, okay?
Sure, sure.
Okay, let me go ahead. I just want to play this once again. I want everybody. I want you to see why, Adam, you can't see Adam's face. I want you to see why you can't see Adam's.
You are not showing the video, you are showing me. I think Steve has technical difficulties right now to play the video on the live at this moment, and I think I am live only. So yeah, disturbing as it is the truth and it is the fact, and you cannot run away from the fact, because that fact is there in 13 different Islamic countries, and the law either denounce you for each and every inheritance and child custody and marriage and put you in jail, and in certain countries by law you will be put to death, and it is a crime to be an apostate. And I have done a full 1 hour video on apostate in Islam. It is with Steve, and on his timeline you can just go and watch it, and different laws have been given. So please do not tell me otherwise. If you have some evidence, go to these Islamic countries and provide them those evidences and remove those laws. That's my humble request to you guys. And then see how many apostates will show their faces, to all of you and the world. And then you will know the real number. You don't even have the real number at this moment. That is what you have. You have something which doesn't even count, and your own Islamic scholars are stating otherwise, and they are saying that apostate is increasing. That is what your Islamic scholars are saying, and I will send a few videos in my next post where I will show when Islamic scholars are saying this is tsunami right now. There is a tsunami of apostates right now. So, and they are trying to stop it, but they cannot stop it, because right now the information is expanding and people are knowing the stuff. They are hidden ex-Muslims in even Saudi Arabia. There are hidden ex-Muslim in every part of the world, and that's the problem with you guys, and that's why you cannot run away. And Whereas when we talk about Christianity, it is it is a relationship with your God. You either accept it or you reject it. You accept it, then you are in the salvation. If you reject it, that is up to you. Nobody is born a Christian. Christian means the one who follows Christ. Follower of Christ is called Christian. Full stop. That is it. And that is the true relationship. God wants us to be in relationship with himself. God did not created us and then threw us into this world to just run around left and right. God actually loved us. So he gave us each and every information, even to an extent where he sent his only begotten Son to die on the cross for our salvation and our sins, which are cleansed by his blood. And that's what true God is. Come to the true God. Come to the gospel, the good news that Jesus brought with himself. Come to it. Leave the deception. Allah said in Quran, He is Khairul Makarin. When Allah said He is Hayy or Al Qayyum, Al Malik, you actually put that in the 99 names of Allah. But when Allah said He is Khairul Makarin, when Allah said Makar, you do not say Al Makar. You do not have that in the 99 names of Allah. Whereas Allah said in Quran in 3 times that He is Khairul Makarin. So where is the Al Makar in the 99 names of Allah? Nowhere. Nowhere. Allah said he is Awwal wa Akhir. That's what Jesus said. Allah took the name of Jesus and added it to himself, obviously by Muhammad. Jesus said he is the truth and the light. And Allah said he is Noor. Allah said he is Noor. Jesus said he is the light. Why are you running away? Come to the true God. Come to the salvation message that Jesus brought for us. He is the salvation for all of us. He is the only way. Without him, there is nothing. And the road and the door of the heaven is small, and the road is narrow. And he is the only way that can cross through that road. No matter how many people are Muslim, no matter how many people are Hindu, no matter how many people are Jews, the true Lord God has given us everything, revealed us everything through Jesus Christ, who is the truth, the life, the light, and the life. He is the life, and we have the life through him, the eternal life through him. May the Lord bless each and every one of us who are listening, who are posting comments, who are even accusing me, who are even abusing, using abusive words. It does not matter. In Revelation 1:8, Jesus is called Al-Qadir. In Revelation 22:13, Jesus is called Awwalu Akhir. In John 2:1, Jesus will call Al-Bar. In Matthew 28, he will call Sultan fis Samawati wal Ars. In Revelation 19, he was called Bil Adl. In 17:14 of Revelation, he was called Rabbul Arbab. In 17:14, he was called Malikul Maluk. In John 8:12, he was called Al Nur. In Philippians 2:11, he was called Huwa Rabbi. In 19:25, he was called Hayyi. In John 14:6, he was called Wal Haqqi. In John 8:32, he was called Al Haq. In Isaiah 9:6, he was called Al Jabbar. In Isaiah 9:6, he was called Al Hajib. In Mark 2:10, he was called Al Maghfur. In John 11, he was called Al Qayyam. Please, please learn, read, and get the salvation message. Thank you so much. In Jesus' name, I close this bridge that we have right now to talk to each and every one of you. I think Steve is having some technical difficulties. He was not able to play that video one more time. Maybe he'll play it next time. Steve, if you can hear us while we cannot, I think you need to come up and close this bridge, probably.